Welcome to office hours. Welcome to office hours. We are at noon Eastern on the dot, so maybe we'll wait a minute or two to let people trickle in. We're unsure of the number of people we'll get today based on the change of our Zoom link, so we're hoping we do get a good group, a number of people here today, but we shall see. So if there's anyone that is here that take advantage of the time we have and has a question, please raise your hand. Let us know so that we can call on you with your question. Or yes, you can put your question in chat if that works as well. I don't see any hands raised at the moment. Maybe we'll give it another minute or two for people to trickle in.
Got a thumbs up.
Here we go.
There we go.
T-Wise. I think is that Teresa?
Trisha.
I'm hoping.
Hi.
Trisha. Oh, sorry. Trisha.
That's me.
Yeah, thank you for getting us started.
No problem. I had a meeting with one of our members this morning, and he came up with something he's trying to do on our website, and it's not moving forward.
Which site are you with?
Sampo, NY Sampo,
Is that
New York
New York.
State.
Oh
right
yeah,
up
okay, I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah. New York State. There you go.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we just had a conference, and members are trying to put points in.
Okay.
So I believe that he was in his profile.
What's his name?
It was Gregory Helton Knight, Helton. That's him.
All right, this
And
may have to be Kaylee. She is the expert between her and I on points tracking. But so Kaylee, be prepared.
okay, so it's under the points hours history,
Mm-hmm.
and he went to add hour.
No category.
No category. So we just put in event name, date of event, and hours, and hit save, and it came up with an error.
So was it one of these two events?
Yes, it was the Long Island.
And the date of the event was October 21st of 2025.
Yep.
Is
So
it
maybe it worked.
Mm-hmm. This
Is
is a
it
90-day expiration issue, I think. Yvonne
Oh,
would be my guess, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Kaylee, can you chime in, please?
It shouldn't be. The 90-day expiration
No.
is when you're bulk uploading hours from event.
Yeah.
But how many hours was the attendee supposed to receive for attending?
this one was 10.
So I want to go through and test it. You can always delete it. Okay, interesting. Um, can I tinker in this for a
Absolutely.
minute? And then we can come back to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll move to Sandra, and then come back. Does that work? Yes?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, Sandra, you have your hand up.
Yes, hello. So we have a question on membership. It always seems to be issues that when we try doing membership, I know you've talked to our membership chair and our treasurer. So this is the Pennsylvania Public Procurement PAPA. So two things. Number one, we have been sending the meeting notices out directly from Club Express. And I wasn't getting them, and I'm the president. So I went to my IT team and they said, because when the email comes, our treasurer sends it out, or sometimes our secretary will, and it comes from their name, but it's coming from Club Express. And my IT team said, It's a bulk email service that isn't properly identifying itself. Therefore, the email's quarantined. So they have to actually go in and release it. If he sends an email directly from his account, it'll come through. However, if it's a third-party system, then they need to fix their DKIM record, an explanation of it, and he sent me a link. So that is Greek to me. So I'm hoping one of you know what that means, because I tell you that because we just looked at our report for who opened the meeting notices, and I have like 3/4 of my members haven't opened. It shows in the report from Club Express they haven't even opened their email since last week. Although our past president opened her email, but it shows that she didn't. So I am just so confused, and we have a general membership meeting on Monday, and I need to figure out what we want to do here.
Is this the report you were looking at, this one here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the DKIM record. I do not, so basically what's happening is your IT is seeing this as a spoofed email, and so it's blocking it. Unfortunately, there's really nothing Club Express can do because that's how it comes through. The only thing you can do is have mailer, MAILER, at mail, the number 2.clubexpress.com added to a safe sender list. And then the email should start being able to go through more often. So that's one thing I can tell you about that. He's right about the DKIM record. I don't understand what all that means. I just know that that's what's happening. It's because it is a mass email coming through Club Express's server from their server. As far as the record showing that your president opened it, no, I think you said that she did open it, but the record is showing she didn't.
Yes.
That's probably something within her email settings to not send an email receipt.
Oh.
So that's why that's doing that. It'll not show that she opened it because she's got it not sending email receipts of notification that she's opened emails.
Huh.
It's the opposite direction too. So some can show that they were opened and yet they really weren't because something is going through that says that they opened them. But that's the same through any email platform like Constant Contact or anything like that. Why don't you though, just because I don't want to give wrong advice or wrong information, why don't you send the email that your IT sent to you about the DKIM records, and I will share that with Club Express, Michael at Club Express, and see if I am wrong on that. But that's always been an issue with Club Express emails.
Okay, and you said so that we can let our members know somehow if they're not getting our email. So you said the email to tell them to add to their safe sender list is mailer, MAILER, at the number 2.clubexpress.com.
Yep, I'm dropping it in the chat right now.
Oh, perfect.
And what I usually end up doing is I tell them when the last email went out, the subject line, the exact time it went out, and I say, look for, this is the last email we sent you on 5/6 at 11 a.m. And then they usually can find the email and add it to the safe sender list.
Okay, and then just one other question, and then I promise I'm done. So in the meantime, because if people aren't getting these emails, I can't tell them to unblock this. How can we're trying to run a report. How do I get a list? Because that report has every email, but how do I export it into an Excel spreadsheet just so I can, from my personal email, send a message out to all of my membership to tell them to do this?
You're asking where to run the reports. I'm sorry, Kaylee was asking what the member's name is, so I just went back there.
Oh.
Kaylee, so you see that?
Yes,
On the
thank
thing
you.
she's okay. You said you want to run the report in an Excel? Is that what you're trying to do?
So Kathy, I believe, is on, my secretary. We were going to send out an email just from her personal email address.
I am on.
All right. How can she just get all of our members in an Excel or in a format where she can send an email from her personal city email versus this mailer email to make sure people get it?
There's a few different ways. You can go right here, especially if you only want to send it to people who aren't receiving the emails. You could run your report in a CSV. So just go to the reports for that email and opened, or I think it's, I think this one will say when it's opened or not. And then the CSV here. And that way, if you only wanted to run it or only wanted to send it to the people who aren't getting it, then
We
you
were
get
going to
this
send it
report.
to everybody just because we need an RSVP. So how do we do that if we wanted to put everyone on our membership list?
Well, this list is going to have the same thing. It's going to have everybody
Okay.
there.
Oh,
But
okay.
the other way is to just send, or I'm sorry, you can go to the People tab, People Manager, and you can look for all active members here. That's one way. And then when you get this, you can go to this Action tab and you can export this list to a CSV. So that's another way to get your members exported. And the final way to a CSV especially is to go to your chapter tab, data export. Under this people caret, there are active members right here, just so like all active members. Well, that's all members, including expired. So probably just all active members here.
Yeah,
And
well,
that one,
I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll
no, it's
probably
okay.
do all active with expired because we were having an issue with some that are expired, but they really aren't. And so,
Yeah,
okay.
so if you do this one, you'll be able to sort and find, you'll be able to sort by expiration date. So you probably don't want to send it to people who expired in 2025, 2024. You're probably only looking for people who expired at the end of 2025. So you can sort that. It'll give you all the expired members as well as all of the dropped members. Dropped members are people that you drop yourself. It's also people who asked to be dropped from your database.
Okay, so just that one looks like the one I want. So you went to people,
Yes,
you went
the
to
no,
control panel, oh, chapter, control
chapter
panel, chapter.
and data export.
Kathy, does that work for you?
Yes, but I don't have access to
Oh,
people.
huh.
The only thing I have is dashboard, website communications, and support.
That's
Is that
based
something you
on,
can give her access to, or do I have to get my webmaster?
No, I can do that. That's
Oh,
under
perfect.
chapter administrators. And then this is Kathy Knives.
Yeah.
I caught them now. Right up there towards the top. That one.
So under functions, we would want to just add club and data export. So it's called club here, but your tab was
Oh.
renamed by yourselves, by your group as chapter, but it's the club tab. And then save.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
so Sandra, just to mention that in terms of blocking, we at NIGP have the same issue with emails not being received either from Insight, which is our community platform, or from our email marketing platform as well. It is due to firewalls, which at government agencies, for instance, are very strong, as you know, I'm sure. So this is it's not a Club Express specific issue. I do have a question for Yvonne in terms of being able to set up like a vanity from address in Club Express such that you're able to, instead of using a very standard, which I know servers don't like mailer or marketing or whatever is their way to edit, or a request for a feature upgrade in terms of editing that from address to kind of make the from address more appealing to a server. It doesn't look like it's a spam email. I'm just curious. I don't know. Do you know, Yvonne?
I don't.
No. Something to think to, I have no idea how Club Express would feel about it, but being able to edit that from address to make it more appealing to the servers or whatever, so it doesn't look like spam, could certainly be a great I'm sure other of their clients probably have the same issue, but something to think about. So,
Hey Ronnie, can I just mention a quick one to
Mhm.
jump
yeah.
into your question? We've started standardizing our from email to just start off with our chapter name. And so everything we do now say one IGP, uh, events committee, emerging professional, and it seems to have helped, I think, push through our emails coming through with less errors. So hopefully that helps.
Great, thank you. Okay, Sandra, was that it from you? Yes?
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure, Kaylee.
Okay, I am back for New York Sampo. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Um, so what it looks like, sorry, who had this question?
It was Trisha.
Trisha.
Trisha,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, Trisha, I'm going to share with you.
See?
And can you confirm, it looks like you haven't actually set up points or hours tracking?
I cannot confirm, I'm not sure.
From my end, it looks like there isn't anything set up, and so that's the
Okay.
reason that that error message is going through. We do
I
have,
had a feeling.
yeah, we do have some resources that we can send you, video tutorials, as well as step-by-step tutorials on how to get it set up.
Okay,
But under the points tracking, as we noticed before, there are no categories set up yet, and you do
right.
actually need to have them set up. And if I were to search by all approval status, this should give me a result that there are some points and hours being tracked at this point, but it doesn't. So this tells me that there have not been any points at any or hours at all. So if you were to go and set it up, you would need to first start by setting up a category. So for instance, this one was your regional conference,
Yep.
and I'm going to make it active. You could even create a category that's just hours. If you just want them all to be lumped into one, however you wanted to organize it. And then going back to the member's profile. So it was Greg Helton Knight. Going
Yeah.
into his profile, um, first, you make sure, has the attendance been tracked for this person's event? And it was the Long Island Regional Conference, and
Yep.
he showed it showing as his attendance has been recorded. So at this point, once your attendance is recorded, you can add the hours. So adding hour for regional conference category, choosing from the attended events. This drop down, it's only going
Yep.
to pull events where the attendance has been recorded.
Taken. Okay.
So then it's here, 10 hours, and submit. And then it'll go through.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Do you want me to
Looks
leave
easy.
this, or do you want me to delete it? I don't know if you want to get a firm setup first, or I can just leave it in there.
You can leave it and I can use it as an example.
Okay, and then I can send your way some instructions on how to set it up, because there's a convenient way on the administrative side of things where you can actually go in as admin and record the attendance for any event, and you can bulk upload. So you do it one time and the hours
Oh, great.
automatically appear on all of the attendees'
And
profiles.
was that the 90 days that somebody had
Yeah.
referred to previously that we have? That
Yeah,
much
so when you
time?
go
Okay.
into the points tracking module, there's this button here, import from event,
Import. Okay.
and that's where you're going to bulk upload points for all of the recorded attendees. But this drop down here, select an event,
Mm-hmm.
expires after 90 days.
Okay. So
So
event
this,
expires.
yeah.
Kaylee, can I ask a question? Is that standard within Club Express? That's not something that you can change on your own? Is that 90 days?
It is, the points tracking module was built for NIGP actually, so you're the
Okay.
only chapters on Club Express that use it. So it is standard across all NIGP chapters.
Okay.
Actually, I found out that that's not true. You guys, it was built for you, but other groups can purchase the module
Yeah.
and pay a yearly fee for it
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
and use it.
yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but they're under your About tab, admins only FAQs, there should be some documentation about the points tracking. And it's probably here. Let's see.
Yeah.
And if we type in points, right here is information that Ronnie has added to this website on the points tracking module.
Haley is actually sharing, Yvonne. They can't see.
Oh, geez.
So,
I can show
yeah.
that. I can show that really quick. But I did also just want to say the steps that we just took on Greg's profile
Mhm.
was basically when a member adds hours themselves.
Mhm.
And when a member adds hours themselves, they have to be approved. See, the status here is submitted. So if anyone ends up taking that route, admin does have to go in and review it.
Review it.
change it,
Okay.
if it's approved. But when you do on your side the bulk import, it automatically approves it because it's
Approves
coming
it.
from an administrator.
Okay, so no. Awesome.
And then what Yvonne was referencing was in the admin only FAQs,
Okay.
get started. There's a really helpful resource under, I'm gonna just control find and type in points. Yes, under event editing and creation. Oops.
There's actually a search bar up there, Kaylee.
There it is. Assigning points. If you expand this, this will
Mhm.
give you
Oh,
all of
gives you
the
pictures.
information you need to know.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
So before we get to Sydney, thank you for being patient. I just want to mention, because we were just looking at the Pennsylvania site, and that there were so few full administrators on the site and so many coordinators. So for this about FAQs page that Kaylee was just showing, unfortunately, it isn't viewable by a coordinator automatically. So I do have this page posted on the NIGP website as well, and I can put the link for everybody. But just it's not possible unless each individual coordinator is assigned website access for them to be able to see this page. So I just want to mention it because there were so many coordinators that I saw on the Pennsylvania site. And I would love to be able to make it available for all, but it's just one of the ways that the system is set up. So I will put the page on the NIGP website in chat for you all. So sorry, Sydney, your hand is up.
Sorry, I was trying to get to the unmute. Good afternoon, everyone. So I have a question about the storefront. I wanted to know if that was available to come out of test mode. We were looking to do a raffle and wanted to utilize that method, use the storefront. But we just tried to purchase and it's showing test purchase as opposed to a regular checkout. And I did look at the Club Express YouTube page and it says you have to ask for it to be moved from test to active.
Ronnie, do you want to respond to that? I mean, is there a rule for NIGP about that one or?
No, I think it's just setting it up, right? And then requesting Club Express to launch it, but you
Yeah.
can answer. Yep.
Cindy, which group are you with?
Maryland Public Purchasing Administration Association, excuse me.
Oops.
And we've got lots of fun stuff in our storefront. Uh-oh. I don't know what that just showed, but it showed Tony Reed, and I keep getting communication about that because Tony Reed is a past president,
Mhm.
and I can't find where to remove him.
Okay, we'll look at that one too then.
Thank
And
you.
then and confirm that the address is good.
Thank you so much.
Sure. So the storefront that's under the money tab, right?
Yep,
Yep.
we've
So
got it all set up and ready to go.
yeah, all you have to do is send an email to support@clubexpress.com and ask
Okay,
them to activate your storefront. You have to provide your association URL.
okay. Support at clubexpress.com.
.com.
Okay,
And then as far as your president, the that information gets updated in generally 2 spots. So we're going to look at a couple spots. That again is going to be under the chapter tab. And
okay.
under, let's look first at titles. And right here it says the president is our butler.
Yep,
So that is correct. Okay, and it is, let's see, one other. Contact us.
that's there.
Okay, and one last. Name and description. Let's see there.
There it is.
Right there.
Got it. Okay.
So
Thank you
that's
so
under the
much.
chapter tab, name and description.
Chapter tab, name, and description. That helps because I have been trying to find this everywhere. Thank you.
Sure.
Yvonne, can you, we have a question about the storefront. Can you show where, if it isn't showing on your back end, where you would go to enable that?
Well, it used to be under configure. Is that where you went under configure to get to it? Let me look at one that doesn't have it because they launched that new thing the other day and I haven't gone on to that yet. So let's
You
look
can
at
go
just
to you can go to Washington chapter. This is coming from Ginny.
okay. Okay, so under the money tab, okay, no storefront. So let's see if it's here. Yes, okay. So it looks like for this option, because it must not be a purchase option, it's a free option, you can still access it through the configure tab. So you go to the money tab and the configure option, and then these are the disabled modules down here, and you can turn on storefront and change it from disabled hidden to active. And if I click save and close, it'll be there under test mode.
Do we know why they put it in test mode? They put it in test mode so that they're, instead
No.
of launching it for, we don't know, no.
Honestly, I don't know. It's one of the only
Okay.
ones, everything else you turn on, it goes on.
Yeah, okay. And then you can build out, I mean, the use of the storefront, honestly, I have used it for sponsorships, right? Where building out sponsorships as a product that they can pick. Not really event sponsorships, more like if you have a full year website logo or something, or I can't think off of the top of my head something specific, but you can use that to sell your sponsorships. You can use it to sell swag if your chapter has swag or whatever. So if you have publications or documents or whatever, it's a good place to be able to do that. So
And Ronnie, if I
uh,
could also mention for Sandra with Pennsylvania, Ginny posted in the chat about using the president at the chapter name email address instead of that one that comes up as mailer, that you might have a little bit more success. Sandra, I don't know if you've set up to use that kind of email addresses within your chapter, but that may help with some of that as well.
Well, so I think what Ginny's trying to say is that when they're sending out emails, they are just look, let me cut this
Yeah,
one's a
I mean,
draft,
we
right?
do have like PAPA treasurer, PAPA secretary and stuff, but they're still coming from that mailer email.
Yeah. So
Mm,
it'll
okay.
say it's coming from president at, and when you hover over it, it'll show actually mailer to at mail or mailer at mail2.clubexpress.com.
Yes.
And that's what gets it tripped up
Mhm.
by
Thank you for that
IT.
clarification. I thought that if it said the president at the chapter name, it did, that's what it showed up as the email address, and you didn't get that Club Express one. Sorry about that.
No problem. Just as a FYI, in the configure options of your email, let's see, I think it's under this options. You can set up a basic one, not a basic, but like if you want all of your emails to automatically come from president at or chapter, or I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you choose, maybe admin at. You can put it in here, and then when you create a new email, it's automatically going to populate there to that email address and from name. You can override it in your email, but instead of having to constantly type it every single time, if you have one email address and one name that you wanted to most of your emails to come from, you can add that here so that you don't have to retype it. Again, it's under communications tab. Uh, communications tab, emailing, and then under configure, up here, options.
Okay, I don't see any hands ups, but I do think it's a perfect time. Jennifer, did you want to bring up office hours and stuff like that?
Sure, I'll bring that up and then we'll let Yvonne talk about that last piece that we're going to talk
Yeah.
about. So we wanted to just, I know we have a small audience today, but we just wanted some feedback on office hours, the timing, the day of the week. We are trying to facilitate for hundreds of people to come and be able to experience this and ask their questions. And just wanted some feedback from those that are here. Would it be helpful if we offered it a different time of the week more often? Is it too often? A different time? Just any feedback that you could offer specifically for office hours that we can maybe incorporate or think about as we go forward. But any feedback on that?
You can put
This
it
is
in chat
Kate.
if you'd like. Sorry.
I
I'm
like
sorry.
I like
This is
the
Khaleesi.
frequency. I like the frequency, and I love that you guys are making it where it's favorable to the East Coast versus West Coast for one of them. Um, Unfortunately, on Tuesdays at 7 a.m. is when I'm on the road for that one session, right? So it's the 9 a.m. for me. This works out great for, us in the Pacific Northwest, but the earlier one, I would tend to always miss it. And, so I don't know if that's one where you could encourage us to send all our emails ahead of time and just you can discuss it whether we're in the room or not, because it's still a question for other people to hear about. Maybe have people like agenda. So maybe if there's a certain focus ahead of time that they know you'll be tackling, and then people can come up with their own questions for that particular module. It could even be a module for the first session is under people or under money, so that all the treasurers will probably most of them will be interested in coming in because they know it's all about money. Or like this storefront, this is new to me, so I did not know that was even a thing. Um, but certain committees, especially the board coming in, I've heard a couple of times now where someone says, "Oh, that's the past president. Why are they still there?" So webmasters, super important. They need to be in the room. They need to understand and I'm actually having this meeting soon here with my board is webmaster is such a large uh, role that it covers how often do you update, do you check the website, do quarterly check-ins on settings. We're still getting emails where, hey, you sent us an email on a link and we can't open it. Well, let me get to the root of the problem, right? And I looked at it and it was like, it was our setting. We had it where it was only for the member of the committee that was open, even though part of the settings said it's open to the public. If it's not open, it's not fully open. So then we're constantly having to like resend that one member who actually is interested. But if we don't fix it right away, they're going to be disinterested because all of a sudden they're like, oh, every time they send something, they tell me I log in, but I still can't review it. So maybe try different things like that, where each tab is important and spend a little more time on that to really get to all the features.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah.
I like
Calista, I
it.
saw you come off of mute as well.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say that I w- I'm on the West Coast, but I like the 7 a.m. is fine with me, and then this time is fine with me just because I start at 7 a.m. Um, but I I really like the frequency of them um as well, and the day of the week is good for me. So I just wanted to give my feedback. So thank you.
Thank you.
So let
Thank
me
you.
ask, if we were going to do, how about like once a week for a half hour versus every other week, which is pretty much what we're doing for a full hour, right? Would that be more helpful?
I'm wondering if that would be helpful. Maybe like January through April or something. And I say that
Mm-hmm.
because usually when, you have new board folks coming on, you have new committees folks coming in,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that, but towards the end,
Mm-hmm.
mid and end of the year, I think this cadence is really good. But if you wanted to switch to the other one, maybe the beginning of the year so that the newer folks would have different times maybe or like more access.
Calista, thank you.
Great.
That's a good recommendation. And we've even seen that with Yvonne and Kaylee, that it's certainly starting to slow down. To your point, that January through April is when everything is happening. Memberships are happening, new boards happening. You're loading your new events for the spring and fall. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
So let me add to this discussion, which is, and we haven't even really talked this through with Yvonne and Kaylee, so excuse us, Yvonne and Kaylee, just getting some feedback. But based on when people have time to be doing what they are doing, evenings or weekends, and I don't know whether that's even a possibility. So once again, excuse me, Yvonne and Kaylee, but what would be your response to doing something in the evening or weekend or whatever?
I was actually going to suggest like
Mm-hmm.
changing one of them to an evening after
Yeah,
hours. Now, it's not going
yeah,
to be after hours for California and East Coast most likely, but
yes.
it'd be a happy medium for some.
I like that. Later in the day, later in our day. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
And also trying to think about and accommodate, not everybody can do this work 9 to 5 when they're
Mm-hmm.
in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we found that the frustration comes at 7 p.m. when they're trying to do something and they can't figure it out. And then there's certainly the FAQs and videos they can go to, but there's not that kind of on demand. So maybe if we were able to set up an evening, or so everybody knew that had to work on it after hours, this would be the time. If you want to be in the system and want to be able to get help or support, this would be that time. So
And is there a day that in the public procurement world is less busy? So that maybe Tuesday is not the best day, that we're better served to pick another day. I don't know what that day is. So put that out there. Anyone?
we've only actually had, Ronnie, 2 people that said Tuesdays are just out. It's whatever happens with them.
Yeah.
That certainly has not been the overwhelming. I think that if we even thought
Mm-hmm.
about doing every week, that we would alternate something of a different day of the week,
Yeah.
knowing that we have a whole chapter or 2 chapters that are not reaching at that time. David also made a good point that sometimes 30-minute sessions could be rushed. Is it that
Mm-hmm.
is it too quick to get through some of those? And these are the things I think we need to talk about internally as well,
Mm-hmm.
as especially at the beginning of the year, that January, February, that's when a lot of stuff is happening. And maybe that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean everybody needs to stay for an hour, but if they get their question asked and need to hop off, they
Mm-hmm.
can. But certainly want to think about that. 30 minutes could be rushed if you get 5 or 6 questions. It might be
Yeah.
difficult too. So
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. This
thank
was
you.
very helpful. Thank you so much. I don't see any hands up, no questions that I can see. Based on that, Yvonne, we met with the Pennsylvania chapter last week actually, and we thought some of what we had covered there would be helpful for others to hear about. So Yvonne, if you want to kind of set it up for us and explain what it is that we'll be doing.
Okay, so a couple of the things that Pennsylvania in particular was having issues with, I'm sure all of you have had issues with. So basically, how can members update their own profiles? Agency primary update the profiles and add and delete secondary members, as well as when a admin is updating them, the final most important step. What was happening there was the admin, the membership chair, was adding new people under the agency primary. I think that was called regular,
Yeah,
agency.
was,
Okay, we can just look at this one. And what she was doing was she was going into the primary's profile, going to the additional members in your account, adding additional members by clicking this add secondary member up here, putting in all of the information, saving all of the new members, and the final most important step that she was missing was hitting that last save button down here. So when she would go back to this Mary Ann's profile later, she would not see the 10 people she just added because she was forgetting to hit this save. So once you add a secondary member and you click this save, it's not actually saved until you click this save. And then the other thing, if Mary Ann wanted to go into her profile and add additional members, she would do it the same way. She would go exactly the same way she would add the members. Her other option is she can give this code. It's a unique code specific to this agency, and she could tell her secondary members to add themselves to the website. I'm not sure if everybody is aware of this. They were definitely not aware of this. How that works is, now that I've copied this code, if I were to join, it asks me here if I want to add myself to an existing business membership. I would put in that code and it would know that I was going right under Mary's profile, and I could type in my own information in there. And then when I get to the payment screen, there is a $20 fee. I don't have to pay it. Mary Ann can pay it later. I can exit out of that payment screen and then tell Mary Ann that she can log in and pay the payments. So there's that two ways that a primary member can add members to their own profile, or to the agency profile, either by giving the code or by going into their own profile, adding the members, and remembering to hit the save button at the bottom. Anyone have any questions about that?
I do not see any hands.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? We don't have any other topics necessarily to cover, so just to
Ronnie?
see if there are any.
Oh.
Yes.
Quick question on committees. I think you guys had mentioned this before on the committee control panel, that it does not notify anybody when someone has signed up. Is there a good workaround besides having my chair check, occasionally if somebody had signed up in one of their committees?
So it should be here. Let's see, notify. Where is the notify?
There's never been. That's why we were wondering why. Nobody gets notified and people can just randomly sign up and we don't even know.
Oh. See.
Now this one, I've taken advantage of this new feature with the term start date and end date, but this is kind of a separate module, right? Because this is something the board should be monitoring and not be able to have just people sign up if they're not voted in.
Yeah, and the one thing just real quick to point
Sure.
out, you should
Mhm.
always extend this a little bit, like especially if you don't know when you're setting it up what your election date is going to be, because
Mhm.
if you put in January 1st, they will disappear on January 1st.
You mean February?
Uh,
Oh, I see.
yeah,
January 1st, even
they'll
though it
just
says 129?
yeah, they won't show up on the page anymore after that expiration date.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I did this after. I just went backwards and before I forgot what day it was we got sworn in. But yeah, the committees, we've just never, we're like, how come we're not getting notified?
I feel like, gosh, I could have sworn there we had a workaround with one of our legal women voters. Kaylee Santa Barbara, do you know, did we end up doing something for them?
I don't know for this particular problem.
Do you guys want to look into it and
Yes.
you can let
Yeah,
Ginny
let
know?
us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
But yes, it should definitely, everything else you can notify somebody like an ad hoc form.
Right.
Somebody takes a
Yeah.
survey that you can
Correct.
have somebody get notified.
Yep.
It should definitely be something. And if it's not, Jenny, I'll let you know either way. But if it's not, I'll
Okay.
put in a request to ideas@clubexpress.com.
Okay.
If anybody doesn't know of that email address, it is, I'm putting it in here. Ideas@clubexpress.com. That's where if you have suggestions to anything that you see on Club Express that you think would be better, you send that to Ideas at, and they get added to a list. And the more people that send that same request, the more likely it's going to get moved up the ladder and get upgraded sooner.
Okay. And then just to clarify, the volunteer um, panel or the volunteer module or
Yeah.
is only by event. It's not like, hey, the committee chair or the member gets so many points. We can't allocate it, can we? It seems like it's only driving based on an event, like an action item.
This is one that I have to think about and look for. Is it under communications?
You
I
just,
think you had it under people, I think when you first clicked.
yeah.
They're volunteering, visible to,
And isn't it built, Yvonne, off of one-off volunteer
yeah,
opportunities,
that's why
right?
we can't
Yeah.
take advantage
So
of the
it's,
points because it's
yeah,
so locked down. I have to add a volunteer opportunity and it only says, well, for what event? And what's the action item and how many hours?
yeah.
So it's
It's
really
built
hard to,
for between 2 and 4. I'm going to show
yeah,
up and do this,
exactly.
right? So,
Exactly. Which
yeah.
is, it's not that great of an, you know.
Did you know that Club Express is owned by the Sign Up Genius company? So if you've had
Okay.
any experience with Sign Up Genius, then the
Okay.
same kind of
Okay.
thing. So
All
yeah.
Is
right.
that I don't have experience with Sign Up Genius, and they were bought by
Oh,
Lumaverse, I think what was
yeah,
it, 5 years ago when the owner retired. Um,
yeah.
is Sign Up Genius have that same issue? Not a very good.
It's just a huge one-off kind of schedule a sign up thing platform that is
Okay,
very widely used. But yeah,
gotcha.
And then,
great.
yeah, the last thing is, did you guys ever get a resolution on the countdown widget? Because you had showed that, unless I missed that whole meeting.
Was that the
So
one where Ginny, in terms of a paid subscription, do you mean, versus we had showed?
Well,
No,
I mean, is
that
that
was
the
free.
resolution that it's gonna have, we're gonna have to pay for the key to be on our, that we can
so
put to our email address if we were trying to put a countdown widget?
you can there is the built-in countdown widget. What I was trying to
Hmm.
show was a different one that I used
Oh,
that was not before Club Express built the countdown widget and incorporated it into the website. I was using an external one. And that one did, when I signed up for it, probably 7 years ago, it was a free account. Now they do charge you for it.
Hmm.
But
well, I was able to, yeah,
Club
I was
Express
able
has
to.
built in.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was able to use the widget on the website. I think, Ronnie, when you were demoing it was more for, or Yvonne, was to add it to our email so that it showed our members, hey, you only have 10 hours to sign up or 10 days to sign up on
Right,
an
that was
email.
the external one. I was
That was
trying
the
to drop
external.
in some code. The
Okay.
Club Express's countdown widget, they don't have the drag and drop in the email.
Okay, great. That's the answer then. Thank you.
So, but I would assume that if you can find a free countdown widget application out there, you should be able to just get the code and drop it into an HTML row into the email.
Okay.
Because that's what I did with the free account that I had.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
Kaliska, you have your hand up.
Yes. Um, so this is Kaliska with OPPA, and I think that you've gone over this before, but I wanted to make sure before I went in to do anything that I was doing it the right way. Um, we have under payments, we have some folks that we need to clear out their payments because it's just been a while. And could you run through how I'm supposed to do that? So it would be under money, sorry, money. And then if I did transactions and then I just hit search.
Yeah, see, it automatically defaults to unpaid.
Yeah. So so there's some like towards the bottom. Um, for instance, like this Natalie one. Um, we don't know, for one, we don't know why it's still on hold. We can't, this one says, it says hold. We don't know how to take it off a hold. And then we also want to kind of remove that payment. But was, I couldn't remember exactly how to remove it.
So you
So
can't
especially
remove
with the hold.
Yeah, no, you can't remove it from here,
Okay.
which is unfortunate. You
You have
have
to
to
go into their
actually remove
profile,
it from
right?
their profile, right?
Okay.
Now, if it is for a event, so let's just look at one of these here. This is let's look at TREY.
That's probably membership. That's probably membership.
So the people tab, people manager. I'm going to look at all, check all, both, and TREY. So somebody dropped this, not eligible for membership. When
Okay.
the person was dropped, there should have been a pop-up. So it would have been probably pending
Okay.
for approval. And then somebody clicked on pending, and it should have there should have been a pop-up here that said, what do you want to do with them? Drop them, etc. And when you
Okay.
get the dropped, when you say dropped, it'll ask you if you want to cancel and delete the pending invoices. So
Okay.
had somebody clicked yes, delete the pending invoice, that would have been gone.
Okay.
Because that wasn't done, that's why that invoice is still there. And let's see if we can go to the profile here. This might be one that we have to have Club Express. I have to look here. Nope, you can cancel.
Okay.
So what we did here is we went to the
Transaction history.
transaction history and then the tab here and hit cancel. Do you want me to hit
Perfect.
that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, just as a reminder, none of your people that were in here under this unpaid transactions were for events. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, there's
Correct.
only
They're all
one
for
page.
membership.
If it were for an event, you cannot just go to the member profile and delete the invoice. You have
You
to
have to
go
go
to
to the
the
event.
event, cancel their registration, and that'll delete the invoice.
Perfect. Yep. Yeah, we do that one all the time for events. So, okay. Thank you for showing that again. I just couldn't remember how to quite do that one. So thank you.
Sure.
Well, it looks like we have no more questions. Thank you, everyone, for coming. A smaller group today, but very mighty. So we appreciate all of you for attending for sure. Thank you so much to Yvonne and to Kaylee. We will do this again the fourth Tuesday, and we'll keep you posted. This will be for the next fiscal year, come July, in terms of what we are planning in terms of any changes to office hours. But thank you, everyone. And yes, use the old Zoom link for our next meeting. Today was just the Zoom
One off.
needed to be used for something else. Exactly. So thank you,
And I
everyone, for
believe
joining.
I believe we only have this on the calendar through the end of June, so we'll have to start a new one.
Yep, so we'll have to start that. So that's
Once
kind of
we
what this
decide the
is all
timing.
about, figuring that out. So thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.